Hey friends, I wanted to share a quick update and progress on that massive piece of concrete that I showed you in my last video. Under this blue tarp here is just some bagged, shredded, natural hardwood mulch, no dye, anything like that, that I'm going to use in my beds. And I'm going to start with the picket fence because it's giving me major anxiety every time it rains, because the soil that's been tilled up to, install the fence is kicking mud and splashing dirt up all over. So mulch, yes, it suppresses weeds. It helps insulate your garden. It's good for all that, but it also keeps that from happening. Look at all that. I can't handle it. Ew, yuck. So I got to get some mulch in here. Hopefully, ideally, I'll get some plants in here and then I'll get the mulch, but I need to come out here and hose that off because it's going to drive me nuts. Yes, the boulder's out. There it is. Ta-da! I'll share a little clip of Mark with his jackhammer because it's just too marvelous not to share. He really did an amazing job. And it really wasn't very difficult. It was quite large, but the jackhammer made quick work of it. We were able to take out pieces of it and get it out of the hole. And now I have planted my lollipop crabapple. I did want to clarify, this is not a full-sized crabapple because I think that I might have confused people in my last video. It was in this pot over here, and that's because it's a grafted dwarf, made to grow in a standard lollipop smaller shape. So it's never going to get big like your average crabapple will. It's planted. I'm happy. I think it looks so great in this corner here, and I can't wait to get some plants and get the mud off the fence. Can you tell it's bugging me? But do you want to know what? I went out this weekend. Like I told you, I was looking for a tree for this area here. I went to Platt's to go look. If you're local, then you definitely know Platt's. I saw a couple things, but I didn't want to rush into it. So I'm waiting a little bit. But when I was out at Home Depot, I also edged. Everything is muddy and mucky right now, but I did edge. And even if you have, grass that's still semi-dormant, I've got clover and perennial rye mix here, dominantly clover, you can see. And I overseed with the clover seeds. But anyhow, I edged and all that. So you can see it's like a muddy mess now from the rain. But anyhow, we were at Home Depot returning the jackhammer. And guess what they had at Home Depot? Well, I think I ruined that surprise in the title of this video, but they had Espalier trees at Home Depot it was like $100, which it's an investment, but it's a very good price for an Espalier tree. I have seen them, especially at this size. It is a good size. And it is a apple tree with each level has a different apple. So with apple trees, most of them aren't self-pollinating, so you'll need either a crab apple or another apple, or I think a crab apple can be an appropriate. I don't know, because I don't grow fruit trees, I had the Espalier along the fence years back, and they died like within a year. It was so tragic, and I've always yearned to have one thriving. The issue when I had them over here, too much shade. My neighbor had a crown reduction of her maple tree, which opened things up and made it nice and bright and sunny, but then it started to grow back in again and then cast so much shade on that fence that it was kaput. And I don't know, I think she's got some aggressive English ivy on that side, and I have suspicions that maybe some Roundup or something was sprayed along that fence. I don't know. All I can tell you is they all died. I was very sad. One of them did have fire blight. I did identify that. So it was just a bad experience. So when I saw this, I was so happy. But it was one of those situations where it wasn't planned, and I thought, I don't know where I'm going to put this. I moved this thing all over the yard this past weekend, and finally I landed on this spot. It ended up being the perfect size because the the lengths literally ended. Like it was just exactly the size. Now I know I could continue to have those grow out and along, you know, a longer stretch of fence, but it just seemed so perfect here. So I quick took some bamboo stakes that I had in the shed and I fastened together with some twine. Underneath of the twine is like green floral wire just to kind of get it all cinched up, and then I tied it up. It's temporary. I can always adjust this. I want to see how this feels. If I don't love it here, it doesn't have to stay here. This wasn't like a major investment. I can rehome it, you know, whatever the case may be. If this grows apples, I will probably faint because I don't know. And if it does grow apples, I think the squirrels will have a field day with it. I can net the individual apples, of course, and do what I can. For me, I love the structure. I can just picture it when I have all of my perennials and things like in here, and like next year when I have tulip bulbs and things planted, like coming up, and then when the apple blossoms come into bloom, like right here off the greenhouse. How excited am I? Like very excited. So I just wanted to show you guys that if you wanted to pop in to your Home Depot, I generally always like to support Platts or Bloomers or Grofts or local businesses first. That's where I went to look for my patio tree first. And just so happened to catch my eye when we were returning that jackhammer we rented. Like, how do you pass that up? Of course, now these were out in the outside nursery, how they have it all on the blacktop there. It was wonky. It had like the branches all sticking up. They had it on bamboo, but it was like all sideways and wonky. So I came and I cinched it all up nice and pretty and made it look good. You can see there are some little buds here. So this is all fantastic. I mean, it's an experiment, and I think I'm gonna be happy with it. I think it fits so cute in this corner. I didn't want to have it take away from the fence. I'm like obsessed with the fence. I asked Mark 100 times. I'm like, are you sure it doesn't interfere? He thinks it looks great. So yeah, it's real natural with the bamboo support, and I think it's gonna work out great. Okay, that's my little update. Gotta get this planted now. I'm very excited. And as I told you guys, we have a lot of cleanup to do inside the shed. Mark's gonna paint the walls. We actually bought a paint sprayer that's gonna make painting the walls inside the shed quick and easy. Hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing is ever as easy as we think it's gonna be. So it'll probably be a nightmare. Who knows? You'll find out when I do. But to, you know, we wanna get some benches in there. Right now, it is just, oh my gosh, it is mishmash. The bikes and the lawn mowers and all the tools, and it's still gonna have all that stuff, but just like not you're gonna break your leg and trip over it when you walk in there, and have it be functional, you know, neat, organized, a bike rack, you know, things. So there's that. And I still needed my patio tree, 100%. That is on my to-do list. So the fact that it looks all mucky here from the edging, I have some weeding to do, but look at my daffodils. My daffodils all look beautiful even after all this rain we just had. But you can even see some of the splatter on the fence back there. Got to get some mulch in here because that does help. You can see, ugh, yuck. That helps from all that splatter. You can see the little clover starting to come in, my dead weeds, dormant weeds here, my crabgrass. I did just pick up a bag of perennial ryegrass, and I have some the micro clover seeds too. So I'm gonna mix that up, and I'm gonna overseed the front and the back lawn so that I've got the nice mix. I love the clover in the lawn. I've had the Dutch white clover that grows, you know, taller and a bit more lanky, and the micro clover is micro clover, so it's a little smaller and easier to manage. They're both great, either one. Yeah, that's it. And the bunnies like to eat that, and we want to keep the bunnies happy, and we want to keep everybody happy, and they can eat that instead of my plants, and it's all good. But too much rain today and these past few days. Thank God my basement has not flooded, because it's been known to do that, but I'm talking too much again. It's because I'm excited. All right, that's my update. Go check out Home Depot, but also support small business. They had pear there too. Ooh, I wanted to get the pear Espalier also, but it was only 2 levels and it did not look as beefy and as good as this one did. Let's take one more look at it. Let's take one more look before I sign off. Doesn't it look good? Oh, it looks so good. Okay, happy gardening, everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Hello, friends. It's the next day. So I'm tacking this onto the end of the video before I upload it. Wanted to show you something that I've been thinking about and decided to just go ahead and do it before other things fill in. So last year, 2 years ago, I started this knot garden. Last year I did a little bit of configuring because I felt like I didn't love the shape. And now guess what? I did it again. Only last year it was very frustrating because my change of design, basically I moved the diamond in to be around the obelisk. That required me digging up a lot of boxwoods. Well, I dug some up this time, but it wasn't the same. Now I am kind of refining the shape. I want it to be much more diamond shaped. These are tiny and I don't want to wait too long. You can see how established the border is. So in moving these last year that's around the obelisk, I set those back a little bit, and now I've got these smaller ones, and it's going to set it back even farther. By the way, I dug those up, but they just really lifted right out because they were newly planted last year along this strip along the patio. So I just borrowed them from there because I thought they'd be better suited in this space. So just to walk around and kind of show you the shape, and once they grow and start to touch, you'll fully get to see that diamond pattern then. I mean, it's really hard to show you the future. I can't do that. I wish I could just, do an Instagram little snappy snap and have these be filled in, but that's all part of the gardening. I'm sorry if I sound a little hoarse. I feel like I might be getting sick, and I don't want that right in the beginning of spring. That would be terrible. But anyhow, that's what I just did, and I think it looks really great. I'm glad I did it. I'm just gonna have to be sure to keep these very trimmed, tightly and close and small, because I want to have enough room in these, in these little pockets to plant things. Right now, I do have coreopsis in here. I've got moonbeam, tick seed, coreopsis, comes back every year. It's already starting to send out little shoots. It's very tame if you've grown coreopsis in the past. Some of them are aggressive in the sense that they will sort of ramble and run away to other spots. Still very easy to pull out and manage, and I find it so beautiful that I don't mind when it does. But this particular moonbeam variety stays nice and compact, like to itself. It's not really going off the rails, and it's native, and it's just so pretty. Little buttery yellow flowers in there. I had in here that I just dug up mealy cup sage, which is a somewhat semi-hardy plant for me here, and does come back. It takes a while. I'm going to pop it in and around in here because I really do love it, but I'm probably also going to pick up some fresh plants too of the mealy cup sage to just supplement, just a couple here and there. And I'll also plant these because they will come back, but it takes a really long time. I find that we're in midsummer by the time these are really starting to show any type of real growth. But I dug them up. I will plant them, but I'll also add in a few fresh ones too. And I think I'm going to plant some of the salmon geranium seedlings in here too. A couple years ago, I put some salmon geraniums, not ones that I grew. So if I can actually plant ones that I grew from seed, that would be even better, even more cool to me. They're looking really good, by the way, under the grow lights in the basement. But I had the coreopsis with the mealy cup sage and the geraniums, and it just looked so colorful and fun. So that's that. That's my little quick update to tackle on the end here. And I think you can see that it's going to look much better. It's going to look much more complete than just having that diamond in the center. It really kind of divides it and makes it feel more like a little knot garden. Okay, that's it. I hope you're all doing great, and I will talk to you later. Goodbye.